Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you? So today, the start of the show, and get words out, is going to be the aubergine, and I do love aubergines. And this dish came about because I went to a really nice Italian restaurant with some friends recently, and I had this sort of dish as a starter. So I've tweaked it a little bit, and it's going to be sort of the main vegetable for my dinner this evening, and it is so delicious. So hopefully you enjoy it. Excuse my crafting trolley behind me. I've been doing some things over the Christmas period, New Year, and getting ready for sort of Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. So if you follow me on Maria's Gift Shop on Facebook, you'll see the sort of things I make. Anyway, so back to dinner. So for dinner tonight, as I said, the aubergine is the star of the show, and that's what this recipe is really all about. However, what I thought I'd do is I'll show you how I'm going to do the whole dish. Money being short of supply because the cost of living is rising, it's really important to get value for money for your dinners. So this dinner isn't expensive to make at all, and if you get the aubergine like I did when it was on offer, it's even cheaper. And that's what I tend to do, is look around for what sort of food is on offer in the supermarkets each week. I don't go from supermarket to supermarket, as you know. I go to Tesco for my home delivery, and when I go to the gym, there's an Aldi literally next door, so I'll pop in there on the way home. So I don't go chasing around supermarkets to save money, but if I'm sort of next door and just pop into Aldi, you can get things really reasonable. And like I said, Tesco's do some really good things as well. And occasionally I go up to my Sainsbury's at the end of the day because I need, say, milk or something, or some bread, and they have sort of things that are coming to end of sell-by date for that day, and they've still got a couple of days life and they're fresh. So, you know, just have a look around, be a little bit savvy. So today's dish then is roasted aubergine with mozzarella in a tomato sauce, and I'm going to serve it up with roasted new potatoes and chicken thighs. And chicken thighs are really quite cheap, and what I tend to do is buy them in a sort of 1 kg pack and then split them in the freezer. I do use freezable bags, you know, the bags you just buy from the supermarket, but I wash them afterwards and I reuse them until they're literally, you can't use them again. So I don't, you know, throw them away after the first use. I keep using them time and time again, and they last probably a couple of years doing it that way. I always look after them. So it is a good way of doing it, and you do save money buying things in bulk. I know it's a big outlay initially, but if you do it at the beginning of the month when you just got paid, it will see you through to the month, I promise. So I'm going to show you now how I made that dinner. So here you go. Right, okay, so I've got my aubergine. I'm only using one. There's just 2 of us for dinner tonight, so I don't need like loads of this. You can make a big batch if you want. You could get 2 or 3 aubergines and make a big layer across a big dish and make it like a really nice big bake, but I just want it just for one meal tonight, so I'm not going to use waste. So all I'm doing here is just thinly slicing the aubergine up. Could use a mandolin, but I can't be bothered to get it out of the cupboard if I'm honest, which is probably a bit silly really, because it would take 3 seconds and I'll probably whiz through this quicker. But just make sure, if you do what I just did then, you don't cut through your fingers. Okay. This is where, like I've always said, I'd love to have a proper professional chef give me knife skills how I do this. But it works for me anyway here. Right, there we go. So that's my aubergine sliced. Not brilliantly, but it's sliced. And then I've got my mozzarella, and I've also got some fresh basil leaves here. So I'm just going to pick the leaves off the stem. I always have a pot in my kitchen, although it's looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment, so I might need to refresh it. So there we go. Now the first thing I need to do is I need to cook the aubergines off a little bit. So I'm going to put them in the pan with no fat for about sort of 5 minutes each side until they've softened, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. In the meantime as well, because this is my meal, I've got some chicken thighs and I've got some new potatoes we've already cooked. The chicken thighs are raw, so I want those to go in the oven as well. So I'm going to show you what I do with those all at the same time while the aubergines are cooking. So I'm going to get the aubergines on, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the rest. Right, so I've got my burger off pan, so I'm not using any oil, as you'll know if you know me. And all I'm going to do is place a layer of aubergine on the base of the pan. and I'm going to cook them in batches. So I'm just going to leave that there for a few minutes, and then I'll just turn it over and do the other side, and then take them out to cool, and then do another batch. And then while that's going on, I'm going to crack on with the rest of the dish. Right, so this is my Berghoff roasting tin lid. So you can have it upside down or the other way around, whichever you want to do. But I just love it. Again, I don't need any fat. So I've got 3 large chicken thighs there. 2 are for my husband and 1's for me. I don't want the skin on mine, so all I'm just going to do is peel mine off. My husband will have his skin because he loves it, but I'm not going to bin my skin. Sometimes I give it the dogs, but today I'm going to leave it because I'm going to add it into my hubby's because he likes the crispiness of it. So I might actually be generous and give the dogs, who knows, but I'm just going to take my skin off, and I'm just going to cut any excess fat off mine. There we go. Perfect. Now, obviously, if I leave it in the pan like that, I'm going to still get the fat underneath, as my husband does, because the fat off his chicken is going to get into mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to elevate mine a little bit, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take some foil. So I've got a dog underneath my feet, getting in the way, so I have to step over him. He always likes to get into the action. What I'm going to do is get some foil. I'm just going to scrunch it like that, and I'm just going to place mine on top of the foil like that. And I say all that just means is that I don't touch the fat that's going to come off this for my husband. I'm just going to wash my hands. If I don't, can I just get to the sink? Thank you. You have to sort of kick him out the way nicely, not horribly. I've never harmed my dogs, you know I love them to bits. And then obviously I want to just season this. All I'm going to do is season this with a bit of black pepper. Doesn't need much else at this moment in time. And my husband does like his chicken well cooked, not dry, but he does like it nice cooked through. So I'm going to get that on now and get that in the oven. That's going to be done. Right, the next bit is the new potatoes I cooked as part of dinner yesterday. And all I'm going to do is just take a masher, and I'm just going to put pressure on. I don't want to mash them, but I want to break them up. This is a real trendy thing at the moment. You know, all the chefs do this. James Martin? One of those chefs does it for his Christmas roasties. Always swears this is the best way to get a crust on your roasties. I can't remember which chef it was. I watched so many cooking programs over Christmas. I actually can't remember, but it does work. You just want to break that skin up. You don't want to mash it. You just want to cause it to break. If you have got any bits of potato, you can just shake it off into the pan. Just add a nice bit of crispiness. And all I'm going to do is add some garlic fry light to those to give them a nice flavour. And they're going to go in the oven for about 50 minutes in the middle. So although they're cooked, it's a long time, but I want them really crispy, so I'll just turn them over halfway through so they're cooked evenly on both sides, but they will look and taste delicious. Right, so my chicken's in, my potatoes are in, and my aubergines have had the first lot cooked. I'm just going to take those out. Let me just get a pan to put them straight in. So these are going to go in the oven for about 20-25 minutes to bake as part of the dish, but I just wanted to start them off, so I'm just adding them in and just giving them a quick cook on either side. So once they're done, I'll show you then how I'm going to build that up. Right, I think, yep, that's the last of my aubergine done. Perfect, so I'm just going to leave them to cool so I can handle them. In the meantime, while my pan's still hot, my Berghoff pan, I'm going to add in a chopped onion. This is going to start making the sauce ready for the aubergine. And if there's some left, it will go on the chicken at the end as well. So I'm going to wait for the sauce. So just get that in there. And I just want to cook that down a little bit, just so it's softened. Okay, so that's softened up a little bit and browned. Just going to add in a bit of garlic then as well. So I've got the remnants of a cold. My Christmas New Year gift was I didn't really have a cold actually, in fact. It was just an irritable cough. Yeah, I'm just hoping the new year I don't actually have any of the cold flu that's going around. Especially as I'm on a dry January and gets it wrapped. So I'll pack it in a tin of plum tomatoes. Now I normally go for the chopped, the chopped plum tomatoes, but Tesco's didn't have them in. So the next best thing is just buy the plum. It's fine, and just give them a bit of a mash. To be honest with you, it actually makes the sauce nicer, I think. Might be a bit biased, but you know, if you had a soup maker, you could probably make this sauce in a soup maker and it would blend it at the same time. But I do think having a bit chunky is going to add more texture to the whole dish. So if I just using my wooden spoon, use a Burkoff pan so you don't use any metal in there, so I would not get a fork in them. I know my husband would, and I'd kill him if he did, because you do damage the saucepans. But as you can see there, I've done quite a nice job of chopping that up with my wooden spoon. So all I'm going to do now is leave that to simmer so that the liquid goes down. And then I'm going to start building my aubergine dish up while that's cooking down. Oh, actually, you know what I'm going to do, I haven't done yet, sorry, is I'm going to add some Italian mixed herbs. I actually did get this from Italy, so it's already blended in there. So it's, you know, oregano, basil, all that sort of stuff will be in here. But you can get it from any supermarket. You put plenty in here. It's the herb that makes the difference, like a pizza, isn't it? If you don't have those herbs on top, it's not the same. There we go, perfect. And don't forget there is fresh basil in the dish as well, so that's all going to add in. Right, let's leave that to cook down. Right, so this is my dish that I'm going to use. I am just going to spoon in a spoon of the sauce. I know it hasn't liquidized down a little bit yet, not how I want it, but just want to put a layer at the bottom just so it doesn't sort of stick, or the aubergine doesn't stick to the base. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Okay, I don't want to use any oil unnecessarily in this. So all you do is you get your first layer, which is a nice big piece like that, and then a nice piece of aubergine, and then do a couple of basil leaves, like so. Bit of pepper. Such a simple dish, but is delicious. And then again, aubergine, bit of mozzarella, bit of basil. Just try and get the big ones out first. Aubergine, and then I'm trying to see if I've got two there, and then aubergine. Bit of basil. Put some more pepper there. Another slice of aubergine. Just give it a squeeze. And then more mozzarella. Just put that one in the middle there actually. There we go. Another aubergine. Oh, didn't put my basil. I'm running out of fresh basil leaves, so I'm just going to just put a couple in there, the small ones. Another one. I'm going to break that up a little bit, like that. And then another, basil, aubergine, go, basil, the last of my aubergines going on. And then just put that there like that, give it a squeeze, squeeze it down, and then just what's left of my mozzarella, perfect. Put a bit of seasoning over that again. Move it forward so you can see it. Perfect. And then get my sauce, which should have reduced down now. And all it is just literally tomato, onion, and garlic. I'm just going to pour it over the top, like so, and then just around the base. Like I said, you could, you know, increase the quantity if you want to make this one big bake. You don't need to make it like this if you don't want to. There's a lot of sauce there, but as I said, what sauce is left when I dish it up will go on top of the chicken as well. So And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some foil on top of that. And then I'm going to bake that in the oven for about 40 minutes. And then when it comes out, I'm going to grate some parmesan on top of it as well. And then the whole dish should be ready to dish. So I'll show it you then. And I really can't wait. Right, so I'm going to pop it back in the oven now for about 10 minutes. Let it browns on top, and then I'll put some parmesan on top as well. Right, and there it is. I'm just going to add a little bit of parmesan on top of this. Turn that around. Just light shavings. And that is going to be ready to serve. I mean, how easy is that? But it is an absolutely beautiful dish. It's perfect as a starter as well, on its own like this, or with a bit of salad. It's just absolutely delicious. There we go. My baked mozzarella and aubergine and tomato sauce. Right, what do you think to it? It was delicious. My hubby absolutely loved it. I only had one chicken thigh. I don't need as much as my husband did, and obviously you can see I only had 3 potatoes. He had a lot more, and actually there was some potatoes left over. And again, with my new potatoes, what I tend to do is, because only 2 of us, we don't need a whole bag of new potatoes, so they tend to come in 1 kg bags, don't they? But I will still cook them all in one go because it saves using the pan twice. And then I put them in the fridge, and they're great to either add to salads to take to work, or just to nibble on, or like I did there, you know, use them again, roast them down is a different dish. So, and then also actually I did the other day, out of the same batch, is I made, I did a gammon in the slow cooker. I couldn't think what I was going to do then. And we had it sort of shredded, because when you do it slow cook, it shreds really, really nicely. Did it with some vegetables, and we did it with some mashed potato, and it was delicious. And then the next day, because, well, it was next day after actually, I think it was, we'd had some new potatoes for a dish and had loads left, as you can tell. So I took some of those, sliced them. My hubby did me some really nice chopped carrots and parsnips, and I cooked those off with some onion in a pan with some vegetable stock, boiled that down, added in some of the leftover gammon, and then put them in a pan or sort of a dish, and then added the sliced new potatoes on top. Bit of cheese, baked in the oven. It was delicious, and it was just gorgeous. So yeah, that 1 kg of potatoes has gone a long way. I think it's done about 5 dishes actually, because it went to my husband's lunch as well. So yeah, really went a long way. Anyway, I hope you liked that. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, notifications, and give me a thumbs up. See you in my next video. Take care. Bye.